you know. A lot of comments. Sometimes they just like.
It's live.
I mean,
It's live, man.
Hey, Fernando. Alright, you're out of the shot. You're fine. Let me do that. Alright, so you're in the shot. Alright, so I'm wearing my Maryland shirt today.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I changed. We had a guy come in last week that we did his install on.
From Maryland.
From Maryland. Isn't that your neck of the woods?
It is.
Yeah, so he drove from Maryland.
There's quite a few car stereo stores he passes from Maryland to here.
And you know them all.
I know a lot of them.
Yeah, I bet you do. All right, guys,
Wow,
so it
hey.
is Monday, and I'm sorry we're late. And of course,
up,
I
David?
apparently got the squeaky chair today.
Yeah. What's up, David? Yeah. You just don't move a lot.
Apparently, I can't move a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, so I apologize up front because I have the squeaky chair.
What's up, John, Mike,
You didn't give me the squeaky chair.
Nick.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Willie?
So, real quick, before we introduce our guest, who is Arty Voisey from AAMP Global.
Yep.
That is nervous beyond belief. Hello,
No
from
makeup
Sweden.
artist today, nothing.
I know, and then we're late,
And then
so,
we're late, yeah.
yeah, did Tony chime in yet?
No.
Well, come on, man, what the heck? All right, so it's been a fun weekend. Today, as we promised, we're back to videos, so the install diary went up today, part 1 of 2. Sorry, it had to be a part 1 of 2 because it's a really long video. We talked about a lot of new stuff in one car, and I needed to go to bed because it was 2 o'clock. And I had a throbbing headache because the drugs weren't working at that point. Go figure. Hey, from Detroit.
Hello from New York.
So, real quick, Fernando,
Yep.
how was your weekend?
That was good. I went to Tampa. That was Italian festival.
Okay.
So we went there, eat a little
You
bit
don't
of
look
food.
Italian.
I know.
It's totally
You know?
Italian. What are you talking
Yeah.
about? It's Francisco.
So, yeah, hey,
It's Francisco.
Tony from UK is
There we go, UK Tony. I was waiting for you, buddy.
And yeah, that was good. That was good. Have fun with the family.
Yeah, Haley and I had to go do a school project at the Dolly, which I talked about earlier today, so that was that. And then
Yep.
I had a ton of little projects I had to do at the home. I had to replace my Panamec surge protector that after 20, 30 years finally.
Went bad.
Well, one of the relays went bad. And I just said, you know what, I'll just buy a new one and then I'll fix it and then we'll figure it out from there. And then...
And how much does something like that cost?
Yeah, so...
Great.
Trust me,
Only the best for you.
Wasn't happy to be replacing
No,
it.
yeah.
Let's call it that. So anyways, did that. Had to replace the parts in the toilet. Who doesn't love replacing the parts in the toilet?
No. I
Got
don't.
the wrong parts, so I had to go get the new parts, the right
Yeah.
parts. I have 2 different toilets in the house apparently, so I can't buy the same stuff for both. That's always fun. And then we left, went and did that, and then we're here.
Nice.
So it was a good Sunday. You know, it was one of those Sundays where you felt like you got stuff done. You probably went out on the boat.
No, actually, I went on the boat Friday and Saturday. Sunday, I did some stuff around the house.
Aw.
We caught fish on Friday and Saturday, ate it. Met a guy
Yes,
that...
I saw the fish.
Well, you saw the crabs.
I saw the crabs.
So Daisy, you know,
Yes.
she like talks to everybody. So
Well, I'll
she
tell you
met
what.
this guy had a... Okay.
Before we get there, let's introduce you properly.
Yes, correct.
So today we have Arty Voisey, who is our sales rep for AAMP Global. Now, AAMP Global is a combination of several companies, all in one. We have Stinger, which is one of your more popular ones.
First one.
The first one, yeah. We have Best Kits, which is also
American International.
American International, same company.
Mhm.
We have PAC, which started out as Peripheral,
Mhm.
and then went to PAC. Better name, I
Well,
guess.
actually, 2 different companies
2 different
merged
companies brought
together.
together, which you guys
And
do a
then we
lot.
dropped the one name. But
Yeah. You do
There
a
you
lot of
go.
that over the
Okay.
years. Echo Master, which is our favorite backup cameras.
Right.
Yes. Phoenix Gold.
Phoenix Gold,
Mhm.
which you guys have had now for,
5 years.
is it 5 years?
I think
Okay,
so. It's
good enough.
close to it.
Australia. What's going on?
And then, what else? What did I miss? Oh, iSimple.
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 Right.
Don't want to forget
Which is kind
iSimple.
of like a pack, iSimple.
Yeah, it's
together.
cables and fun stuff like
Right.
that. Ours, we like to K our favorite piece, which is the Media Links cable.
And,
Yeah.
you know, Stinger has a lower brand, Stinger Select, which
It's all
is...
Stinger, though.
It's
man.
all Stinger.
It's all
Yeah.
Stinger. It's all Stinger.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Arty has been my rep now for. I've been doing this for 28 years, and I think you've been my rep the whole
For
time.
28 years.
28 years.
Wow.
So back in the day, it was called AMP of America. And you were what? Employee number
4.
was it 4?
Yeah, you had Jake's number 1,
Okay.
Sergio, Kevin, Jamo, Jeffrey James, and then I'm number 5.
So you'd be 5.
Okay.
All right. So you've been with them quite a bit.
1990. Started
Was
in
it
1990.
Wow.
How old were you?
Dude, so you were
you were still
literally
in diapers.
No, I
and you were
wasn't.
a twinkle in your dad's eye.
No, I started.
Your mother tells me you
Dude.
were still in diapers in 1990.
Dude, I literally started at AVE in 1990.
Right.
Wow, Dean, you're old. Thanks, Mike, and you are too. Exactly.
Oh, we're just playing.
So
No,
Yeah,
you were
so
in diapers when I started in
yeah,
business.
and that's where we're
when,
going.
when I started working for AAMP.
Wow.
Okay,
Right.
so you're from
Long Island, New York.
Okay, so for all you New York guys,
And I still deal with the people up there. Hello, New York. Love you
yes.
guys.
So okay, we'll get to that whole dichotomy and why you're our rep
Okay.
in a little bit.
Okay.
So you started in New York. You're
Mhm.
from New York. You
Right.
started. You came out of your mom then. You
Yeah,
guys were
yeah,
introduced
yeah,
to the world of
yeah.
New York.
Grew up
Okay.
in a town called Syosset in Long Island.
Okay.
Perfect. Somehow you got into this crazy thing called car audio.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first company you worked for?
I'm not that old.
Well, you're
Yes, I
ripping
do.
me.
Yes, I do.
All right, what was the first company you started for?
So, a small company called Crazy Eddie.
Crazy
Crazy
Eddie.
Eddie.
Small.
Okay.
Well, it was a small company when I first
Yeah,
started.
yeah,
working
but
for
that's Crazy Eddie. The Crazy Eddie.
right.
The
Yep.
Crazy Eddie.
Yep.
So if you guys don't know who Crazy Eddie is, go onto the YouTubes and type in Crazy Eddie. This is the prices are so low, they're insane.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do tonight. I'm gonna
You're
go and
gonna
see
go
it.
find
Yeah,
it out.
yeah,
find
yeah,
it
yeah.
out.
So
I
you
don't
worked for Crazy Eddie.
So
Okay.
yeah, and it's really crazy how I got there because my friend was a stock boy there,
Yes.
and we were going out one night.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey man, got to work till 9. You know, retail.
Yeah.
You know." And they did TV, they did
Everything.
everything.
Okay.
Phones.
So
Typewriters.
so he's like, he goes, "I get off at 9."
Right.
So I got there like 8:30,
Yeah, yeah.
and he's still doing some stuff. So I met this guy,
Right.
and I started talking to him.
Didn't
And-
even realize it was Eddie.
Well, this one wasn't Eddie.
Oh, okay.
His name was Mitch, and he was the store manager.
Right.
Okay.
So we were talking back and forth, blah, blah, blah. And my friend comes up from the back. He was doing some stock work. And we were all talking, and Mitch goes, "Hey, you know, I could use another hand back here."
Right. Yeah.
And I'm in high school. I'm a junior in high school.
Yeah,
So
money's
he's like,
money.
"Hey,
Yeah.
after school and on the weekends." He goes, "Can you do it?" I'm like, "Sure, yeah."
Yeah, why not?
Unload trucks, take TVs out to people's
Yeah.
car.
Yeah. Do boy.
So I was a stock boy.
Wow.
However, though, when you're a stock boy for a retail store like that, you're not always unloading a truck. You're not
No,
always
you-
taking TVs out.
Right.
So you have a little bit of downtime.
Correct.
And I'm not much for sitting around doing
No,
nothing.
you're
So
not.
I would talk to people. I kind of like to talk sometimes.
No.
So I would talk to people.
I'm shocked. Must be why we're
So
friends.
so I'm there a year, and and I'm talking to people. I'm getting ready to graduate high school at
Okay.
this point. And one Saturday the store was real busy. Loaded a couple of TVs out to people's car. I'm talking with somebody, and this guy keeps walking past me. And
Right.
I don't know who he is.
Right.
So the manager asked me. He goes, "Hey, what are you doing tonight after work?" I'm like, "I got no plans." He goes, "You want to join me for dinner?" So I'm like, "Sure." So
You're going on a date.
I'm going on a date with the manager.
He thought you were
And
cute.
he
You had long
thought
hair
I was
back
cute.
then.
Then I was young.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
so
mullet.
it was like jailbait. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
There
right.
you go.
So he takes me out to dinner and he goes, "Hey, Eddie was in the store today."
Okay.
And he's like, "And you were talking with customers." I'm like, "God, I am really sorry, bro." I go, "What did I say? What did I do?"
Right.
And he goes, "No." He goes, "He wants you to be a salesman."
Oh,
And I go,
wow.
"He does?" I go, "But wait a second. Graduating high school, I'm going to be a paramedic.
Yeah.
I'm going into the medical field.
Correct.
I've already taken a
All the
lot of
tests.
different, right.
Yes.
And I'm already an EMT at this point.
Right.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
So that's what I was going to do." So he's like, "Well," and I think, I wish I would remember, but I think it was like $300 a week at the time.
Well, you have died twice.
Right.
So,
So
I mean-
I think it was like $300 a week. He's like, "But he wanted to pay you $300 a week." I'm like, "You got it." So $300 a week. I'm like 17 years old, $300 a week. I'm making
Yeah.
I thought my dad was making $300 a week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're like all.
So
Bang!
he's like, "I'll tell you what."
Yeah.
He's like,
Do what you need to do.
"If you want to go to college, get some courses. We'll work schedule
Yeah.
around you, and you can do that. So I was like, great.
Perfect.
So I'm in.
Right.
So
Long story long.
long story short,
You're selling
my
for
first job ever was at Crazy Eddie. Worked there 6 years.
holy crap.
Yeah.
Wow.
So and I watched him grow from 2 stores to 42 stores. You check that story out, and I think he ended up with like 50 or 60 stores.
Did he go to jail or did he die? Which one was it?
He's still living. He went to jail.
He went to jail.
Yeah.
Wow.
He had some.
That's how I learned all my tricks.
Yeah, tricks of the trade.
So yeah, 6 years, and car stereo. You know, it was in the late 70s,
Yeah. So it
early
was
80s.
just
So car
starting
stereo
to-
was a little,
little
kiosk
tiny
thing in the
crap.
middle of the store.
Right.
So I made Eddie build a room just for car stereo.
Right.
Because I really thought I'd go, Eddie,
Yeah.
man, you got all this,
Yeah.
Betamax and VHS and stuff you sell, and I go,
Okay.
We can
this
make
stuff's
money.
going to make some money right here. I'm
Right.
telling you. Audiovox and Clarion, I think, were the only 2 companies.
Probably some Craig.
Craig, right? Yeah,
Bab,
Roadstar,
Bab,
whatever.
I think was
Yeah.
a brand back then.
So I in the 2 stores that he had, Brooklyn and Syosset, he built car stereo rooms,
Okay.
like the regular sound room that they did for audio.
So Crazy Eddie's. From there, you start your own car stereo shop.
Yeah, well, actually,
I mean, you were an EMT. You went save lives,
right,
which
yeah.
is a funny story. We were just talking about this past weekend. How
Right,
talk
yeah.
about full circle. So you save a guy's life when he was a kid,
on a
Okay,
motorcycle.
on a
He was a
motorcycle.
motorcycle wreck, right? yeah.
and you're as we said, your territory's up north
Right.
in New York from your old
Right.
stomping grounds. You walk into a store. Lo and behold, a guy working in the store is the same guy.
Right, and I didn't tell you the whole story because that guy that I saved his life,
Yeah.
right? He looked me up and found out who I was and came to see me.
Okay.
And at that time, I owned Super Tunes.
Yeah.
So I had my own store. So he came to see me at the store.
That's Super Tunes.
Right.
Yeah,
And-
but that was
and-
a long time ago.
Right, and he was like was a groupie, was there all the time, and he ended up working for me for a little while.
So there was more in the store. But
So
either way,
it
you
wasn't
walk-
just save
yeah,
this,
yeah, yeah.
So we knew each other really well.
Well, but dude,
Right.
you walk into a store in New York. Did you know he was there?
No,
No
did not know
clue
he was
whatsoever.
there.
You walk in a store. You're like, hey, you're with what's his name?
Frankie Mark.
Frankie
Yeah.
Mark.
My
and
outside guy up in the New York metro area.
and boom! Oh my gosh! Look who it is! It's Arty. Hey, Big D Wiz in the
Big
house.
the Wiz.
Um,
Aaron is in the house. Victor. Yeah.
Give some shouts out,
Adalberto.
Fernando.
Yep. That's it.
Okay.
William. Brandon. What's going on?
All right, so who we have here today, you might be wondering, for those of you guys tuning in late, is Arty Voisey. He is our AAMP Global Sales Rep. We've been together now for 28 years as far as I've been buying from you. He was just giving us a quick history on how we got into this. You own your own store now.
Right.
Back then, moving forward.
Yep. And I'm still a paramedic. I was a volunteer.
Yeah, yeah,
after,
so-
that.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
2 jobs like anyone else, making crushing it,
Yeah.
making those ends.
Right. Yeah.
You meet a girl, you move to Florida.
No. Left the girl.
Left the
to
girl.
Florida.
Moved to Florida. There's a girl in there somehow.
Yeah,
Somehow
yeah,
both
yeah.
of you end
Got
up
divorced,
in Florida.
got divorced.
Got divorced.
Sold my half of the business because
Yep.
I had a partner.
Okay.
Came down to Florida on vacation, just to get away from
Yeah.
everything.
Okay.
And
My parents were living here in Palm Harbor,
great guys.
and yeah, so I stayed with them for a little while.
Somehow you end up at
Jersey Jim Towers.
Jersey Jim Towers. Now, for those of you that are not familiar with Clearwater, Jersey Jim Towers was the big box retailer. Think of it as the Walmart of the 70s and 80s.
Well, as a matter of fact, their
still
store,
here.
but
Well,
there's a Sam's Club where their store
there's
used
stores,
to be.
yes,
so,
yeah. Well, we had
there's a
you
Sam's
had,
Club there.
You had Peaches, you had Jersey Jim
right,
Towers.
right.
and
But
for
their
those-
store was a big store.
Peaches
It was
is
big, yeah.
was a place where you went and bought
CDs,
records,
records, right?
cassettes,
How about CDs?
it's a music store. So that Jersey Jim Towers actually still exists here, but nothing like it was back
It's
then.
more of a big repair place than a white goods place now.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah.
So, story goes, according
So-
to one night on your back porch,
So right, okay.
you're working at Jersey Jim Towers.
And I'm doing car stereo, and
Yeah, of
it
course.
was in the same position as like Crazy Eddie.
Yeah.
They had this little corner that was dark and dingy.
Right.
They did everything else but car stereo, and I'm like,
You're stupid.
right.
Do car audio.
Yeah. So Jim Towers the third, which was like the grandson,
Right.
and that's how I met the whole family. They're like, hey, do you want to like redo this car stereo thing for us?
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, I'm just here on vacation.
Right.
But all right, I'll help you out, and then, I got nothing else going on. in my life anyway,
Yeah.
so.
I mean, I know what your priorities were back then.
So I said, yeah, sure. So I went to work from family owned and operated. Loved the guys, great people, and I wanted to rejuvenate their car stereo.
To really pump up the Hyphonics. I mean, what was that brand that Audiovox had that was their high-end brand?
It might have been. I don't know.
It wasn't Hyphonics.
Yeah.
It was like High Comp or something like that. Anyways, who cares? It was old stuff. And actually, it was funny. Okay, so that's when I got into car audio, was Jersey Dim Towers. Back in the corner where you had your dark
and
cave.
Right, it was dark and I made him like put new lighting in there.
Yeah, it
and
was
stuff.
like,
it was like, I'm like,
spooky.
you want me to sell out of this place?
Yeah.
I'm like,
It was crazy. You met a guy named Micah.
Right, well, actually, he came in
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Jersey Dim Towers to buy a home stereo, and nobody would help him but me.
Because you like
Everybody
to talk.
was busy, and I like to talk. Right.
So you met Micah, and which is Micah Ansley, who is the founder of
AAMP.
at the time, which
And it was AMP of Florida.
AMP
at
of
the
Florida,
time.
selling out of his van, getting ready to go big, getting ready to rock and roll,
Well,
take
yeah.
on the world, and you didn't want to work for him.
No, because it was a pay cut.
Yeah,
Like, he's like, hey, it was only 2 years open at the time.
yeah.
So he's like, hey, man, really would love to have you, work for me, blah, blah, blah. And then again, the whole dinner thing,
Yeah.
it's like, what are you doing tonight? Would you like to come out? And I'm like, what is up with me and like dinner with these people, So I went out to dinner. I told him my whole, and I told him, hey, I was just here temporarily, blah, blah. He's like, listen, Micah, listen,
Yeah, listen.
I'm starting this company. We're going to go places. I promise you that. But I can't pay you right now, but I will down the road.
Don't worry, I have this
Right,
Mercedes Benz I want to buy,
Yeah,
and I'm working in a van right now.
And I was like, hey, dude, love the
Yeah.
the Towers family.
Yeah,
I'm not going to leave them,
Yeah.
and they're paying me more than you're offering me.
Yeah.
So no.
but he didn't give up.
No,
He saw
he
something
didn't.
in you,
I
and he
guess
just
not,
rolled
right.
the crap out of you until finally he beat you
Brow
down.
beat me, yeah.
And-
Well, it took me out to like 5 dinners.
Yeah, well,
and those
was
were not
good, though.
cheap dinners
No,
either.
well,
you know.
yeah, I mean,
And
you
when
were-
I
you were
went
hurting
out
the
to dinner, I
company.
drank too, by the way.
High comps.
So-
Yep, that's it. Thanks, Derek. Derek
Right
is
there.
Derek is Mr. Old School.
That's
West
so
High
right.
comps.
Yep.
old school car stereo. We talk about that all the time. So,
So 5 dinners later,
Yep.
and lots of cocktails. I'm like, and the only thing that was kind of like semi-appealing to me was Monday through Friday,
right,
9 to 5.
isn't it?
No more weekends, no more nights. Although
That's
I didn't
amazing.
mind, you guys, and it's been a long time since I did that, but I could still do it again, and I didn't mind doing it because if you love what you do, you never have to work.
Oh, Jesus.
See, Fernando, look at this guy. He's smiling. He knows what I'm talking about. He loves what he's
that
doing.
Star just fly across the screen on that one.
Right. And that I learned from Micah. If you love what you do, you never have to
Well,
work.
and he definitely was the prime example of somebody who loved what he did. He made the company.
And he's a man of his word. Although I took a pay cut and the hours were better and stuff, everything that he told me was going to happen happened.
Yeah.
You got to give the guy credit for that.
yeah.
You got to give the guy credit.
So that's where you and I met.
Right.
Okay,
Yep.
so you guys were just down the street, had 4 desks in a boiler room, smoking cigarettes like this.
At our desk, it was
Yeah,
awesome.
dude, just smoking.
And we all
Had
smoked
this,
too. We all
had-
smoked.
yeah.
Right, the
You had
phone
the
on
phone
and
on
smoking,
this.
and I got an ashtray
Yeah,
right here.
give me a minute.
Coffee,
give me a minute.
coffee
Had
and cigarettes.
Had the
Yeah.
part-time waitresses that were answering the phone at the
Hey,
front.
relax. They were very nice girls and intelligent
Dude,
too.
let me tell you
okay?
what. If you had an order amp to pick up, you were going. I'll go.
yeah.
I already got my keys. I got my
Right.
keys because you just
Yeah.
wanted to see who was working up front. You wanted to see who was working up front because man, yeah, it was. But that's back in the day when car audio was every picture was of a half-naked woman holding an amplifier. So
Right.
he didn't disappoint. He knew that was what we had to do. So that's what they did.
And it's been a great experience too. I mean, I learned a ton from him. He's a great businessman, smart guy.
Oh
and,
yeah, I mean he made
you
his
know,
money.
not looking back, right?
No, he
right.
made his money. So, fast forward, we became friends. And I was telling Fernando earlier today. I said, I know Haley probably won't be watching, but we have the embarrassing Haley story that every time someone new is around and
Right,
Haley's
you weren't there to give her a first bottle, but I was.
That's right.
He was
Really?
working.
No, I wasn't working. I was
Where
home.
were you?
Dude, I had to go home and shower.
Oh, that's right.
I've been
yeah.
up for 48 hours.
Right, and Sue was just wiped out.
Oh, yeah.
And I was there at the hospital, and they're like, "Can you feed Haley?" And I'm like, sure,
Yeah.
no problem."
So brand new Haley, first bottle, man, right here. So and
Yep.
you guys all know who Haley is.
Yeah,
So
yeah. She's
I
in
mean-
college now.
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah,
dude, I mean,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so you were.
When is
you
she
were-
going to be a guest on your show?
She's been a guest on
Oh,
the show
wow,
several times.
okay.
Actually, she was just a guest a couple weeks ago when Fernando lost his voice. She
Yep,
came in and,
yep.
and did the.
She co-hosted.
She
Yep, she
she
did.
read for Fernando. It was great. Yeah, well, you know, hey, when she can make it, we have her on.
Yeah.
Plus, she loves doing the show. She'll be like, I don't want to do the show. I'll do the show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
so
like
I've
it?
been very lucky, and job interviews. If I had to go on one, I wouldn't know how to do it. I don't think I've ever had a job interview.
Well, you've been doing AMP forever.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
30.
yeah. But even before that,
Right.
like my
You just
first
stumbled
job
into
was
it.
never an interview. I just stumbled into it.
And somehow you ended up in this big car audio world that we're in.
Right.
All right, so let's fast forward to today. Now, you're responsible for what part of the United States?
Well, it's the Northeast,
Northeast, which is
broken
comprised
into
of
4 territories.
Okay, 4
Okay.
territories.
So, Mid-Atlantic is
Okay.
my southernmost. Starts at Virginia
Okay.
Okay.
and goes up in Maryland and Delaware.
Maryland.
Right? My territory. And, guys, I'm embarrassed for you guys that are my retailers in Maryland that the guy had to drive
Listen,
down here to have you work on their vehicle.
There's plenty of.
They're not going to
great-
hear the end of
There's
this one.
plenty of great retailers out there.
Oh, I know. I know. I just think
and-
it's amazing that the impact that you put on the consumer, that they would get it from Texas, Maryland, Georgia, even
Well,
across the state, even 4 hours across the state from
Yeah.
Here's
that's
the deal.
ridiculous.
Here's the deal. They know what they're going to get.
Right.
There's no guesswork when you bring your car to us what you're going to get. You're going to get, whether it's a POS, basic, Planet Audio, cars full of trash, you're going to get
It
an
doesn't
amazing
matter the
install.
No.
We good.
So
we get the same.
a lot of people have been burned.
Yeah.
You know, and like this guy just he'd been burned. He lives in a small town. He was like, you know what? I know if I go here, we can go on vacation. Thankfully, we live in the greatest place on the planet for vacation.
Right.
You have Disney. You have Busch Gardens. You have Clearwater Beach. You have
Right.
Dunedin Beach. So they can drop their car off.
Yep.
We have this great thing
Oh,
called
yeah,
Uber.
Right, yeah.
They drop their car off, or
Go
we've
to
had a
Busch
couple guys
Gardens
get a
for the
rental
day.
car.
And, right, yeah.
And so there's a lot of great things that they can do while they're on vacation here. So that's.
But having you work on their vehicle.
and we
is the
work on
number
their
one,
vehicle
right?
while,
Mhm.
and they don't have to worry about it because they know when we're done. They've
Well,
seen the videos. They know what they're
And
gonna
I
get.
love to say, anybody could make a $300 pair of speakers sound like an $80 pair of speakers. Anybody can do that.
Wow.
I
But
love
there's
that
not many-
analogy.
Yeah.
There's not very many people that could make an $80 pair of speakers sound like a $300 pair of speakers, and you guys.
I tell you what,
guys are
I want
one.
to sell a $300 set of speakers and make them sound like a $1,000 set of speakers.
There
to
you
me,
go.
that
Okay,
is
well,
that's
okay.
the
Yep.
margins I
Yeah.
want to be at.
But I mean, you could, like you said, it doesn't matter what you put in. You could buy the most expensive amplifier if it's not put in properly.
Correct. Well, and that's the fight we have. But anyways, okay, Mid-Atlantic, and then
Right.
we go
and
up
then
to,
you go into the New York metro area,
right,
which is my favorite.
right.
Love
Okay.
traveling up there. Just came back from there, and I was there in between 2 major blizzards. How I picked out the 1 week where they didn't actually have a major blizzard, but
Well,
in between
Sue-
2 weeks.
Sue
yeah.
just got back from Pittsburgh, and of course she's sending me pictures the whole time of the snow.
Right. Yeah.
She's like, "What is this white
Oh,
stuff?"
I said I saw snow, but
Yeah.
I just didn't get caught in a
Oh
blizzard.
no, she
yeah.
she luckily didn't either. But it was like, here it is, we're dying. Like I changed
It's
shirts
hot,
'cause
yeah,
it's
it's
hot.
hot, yeah.
She's like in a snowstorm.
Right.
It's a dusting. Isn't it a mild dusting?
Right.
So yeah.
So the New York metro areas, Jersey, New
Okay.
York, and then what they call a little bit, not upstate, but just like Westchester County, just a little bit up there.
Okay.
And then you have New England,
Right.
which is Boston, Connecticut,
Yeah,
New
that Super Bowl
Hampshire,
team.
Maine,
Yeah.
and then upstate New York is actually its own territory. It's big,
Yeah.
and I just traveled there in September. Went from Syracuse to Buffalo, back to Syracuse again. So all along the Canadian border up in northern New York, and it's a lot of territory.
It's a big area.
Yeah, it's a big area.
So you're responsible for that, and
Not for here.
not for here.
Right. No. Right.
But because we're who we are.
Yeah, and it's right. Yeah, right.
So
okay.
the question
All right, so
is like,
how did it happen?
Yeah, how
all
did it
right.
happen?
So it's how I met Dean first.
Yes.
So I was always the Northeast sales rep.
Correct.
From day one.
Day one.
But
Because you have the accent.
in order for Micah to hire me,
Right.
he had to give me 30 accounts.
Correct.
Existing accounts that are already doing good money.
Right.
And he's like, hey man, so some of them are up, up in
up in
Northeast,
your
but
turn.
and then he's got this one
'Cause
guy.
You have one of the hardest areas.
Oh, it's tough, right? We
Yeah.
don't even have a warehouse up there, so my
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
have to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah,
But dealing with me, it's worth their while to
Right.
do that.
yeah.
Just like
Yo,
you guys,
Vinny,
you
you're
guys
Mikey.
know that,
All
right?
right, all right. So 30 accounts.
So it was about 30, maybe 40 or something like that,
Yeah.
right? And he's like, hey, I'm going to give you this account right down the block, man. These guys are great guys. They do great work. It's called AVE Cost Area.
And we weren't doing nothing. We were doing no business whatsoever.
But, he sold it to me like...
Yeah,
you
yeah,
got-
like
you
we
know,
were
right,
killing
yeah,
it.
yeah.
We weren't doing anything. We had a shoebox corner that would have like 10 kits hanging in it. We were
In
probably
the Tarpon Spring store.
that's
when I first-
There was nothing there.
Right. Well,
There's
you're
nothing.
talking about the Clearwater
Yeah, yeah,
store.
which
I
is where I
started
started.
selling you guys...
Okay.
I started selling JJ in the Tarpon Spring store.
Okay, which there was nothing in the Tarpon Springs.
No, no.
You probably sold him a spool of wire every now and then.
Right,
Because
yeah.
he was buying
And
bulk.
he was a ball buster.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
Like the owner of this place.
every store I work for is a ball buster. I mean, come on, dude.
Right.
It's like, I can't escape that. But
But that's my forte.
Yeah.
I deal with ball busters.
So
That's-
you got
I do that best.
JJ, and then we moved into the Clearwater store, and that's when I went in.
That's when he hired you, right?
Because of Nathan,
Right.
who we'll eventually have on the show, who works with you,
Right.
which is
eventually.
funny.
Yeah.
Eventually worked with you. So I went to work because Nathan went to work there, which we don't want to do my history, but that's where I was like going through catalogs in the store,
Right.
and I was like, we can get all this stuff? And JJ's like, yeah. I mean, like distribution blocks and fuse holders and crimp connectors. Because literally, we used to have in our display cases troughs filled with butt connectors.
Right.
Because he would literally dish out 10 for $1 like candy.
Well, if you're a
Okay.
store owner,
Yeah.
and you have to buy shop supplies.
Yeah.
And maybe not. It's not that way anymore. But when I was a store owner,
Yeah.
you're at the end of the day picking up wire ties and butt connectors after they sweep.
Well, yeah, 'cause
they're
they're
ready to
expensive.
throw it in the garbage, and you're picking it up, putting it back in the bin.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause it's your money, not
yeah.
their money.
Oh, no, trust me. Because all right, so there again at AVE, that's where we developed our great relationship because JJ wanted nothing to do with that part of the business. He's like, I'm going to order all the radios and amps and speakers. You take care of whatever you guys are doing back there.
Stuff,
Just
shop stuff, right?
You guys take care of that. Take care of the smart harness.
But he didn't give you carte blanche. He didn't give you a blank check either.
No, I mean, it wasn't a total blank check. Well, towards the end it was real
Right,
tight, but in
right.
the middle there, it was,
right.
You know, it was
right.
like, hey, they
only
have
because
these,
you guys were doing great work.
Yeah, I mean, you
cars
guys
were in and out of there. You guys were busy.
trying to explain to him what smart harnesses were and why he should sell them. I mean, what was the peripheral GM24 equivalent back then? Remember when the
What's up, Jason?
oh, hey, Jason, what's up, buddy?
Mike.
Welcome, Arty. Real quick, Fro's house is Jason. Jason is from Stereo Kings. We've talked about it before.
Yep.
So they have
Deals
that,
with Jeff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
with
5-store chain
Oregon.
up
Yep,
in Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
So and he likes to chime in and say hi. One of the only accounts shared by Arty in Florida. Yes, yeah, because of this relationship that we had.
Yeah. No.
So, anyways, AVE, we did what we did there.
Right.
And the ship
became very good friends.
Became very good friends. The ship started
Best
to
friends.
sink. I moved here. Paul's doing about $10 a week with you guys.
Maybe if that. Not even.
Not even.
And that wasn't in my account.
No, it
Right,
wasn't your
right,
account.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
and I'm like, we're getting stuff from all over the place, and I'm like, I need some stuff. He's like, oh well, give me a list and I'll get it from where I'm getting it. And I'm like, and he got it. I'm like, this is garbage. I can't work with this. I mean, yeah, I was maybe a prima donna, but
Right.
But if I'm gonna do it right,
Installers are,
Yeah.
people that when they get used to something, or they.
well, we won't even talk about the zip tie crisis of 2002.
They've been called prima donnas a couple of times.
And I'll admit, I'm a prima donna, man. I want what I want. I mean, it's
Right.
like, if I want that connector, I want that connector.
Right.
And if a better one comes out, I'm going to try it. And if that was better, I'm going to switch.
Well, and you got to give Paul credit because the
Well,
amount of shop supplies that you use with the type of tubing you use, the heat shrink tubing, the farrows. I mean,
oh yeah, no, trust me, I hear all about it.
It's stuff that people wouldn't even think about spending money on.
No,
because they're worried about you just. I don't know what they're worried about, but they're not worried about quality installation. That's for sure.
Perfio. John just types
Jason.
in POS1. Good one, John.
Oh, there you go. Thanks, John.
Yeah.
Well, no, and that's the thing, and that's always the argument we have. It's like, why don't you guys have this product, or what happened to that product, or
Right.
and it's getting hard. Okay, so we've established how we've known each other. Let's talk about the trials and tribulations of your job. Because not only now are you, like anyone in your position doing what you do has this internet to compete with. And, to say, hey, I'm going to buy a RP4 GM 24, whatever. What's your price
11,
on it?
GM
11. All right, whatever. Pick it. Oh, I was thinking of TY11.
Right.
RP4.2
Right.
TY11.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the internet's here to stay.
Oh, it's not going anywhere.
It's
Oh, yeah,
not going
it's not
anywhere.
going anywhere.
But if you're selling just on price, and
Yes.
which something that I know don't do,
No.
then you're lost already.
Yes.
You're lost already.
And that's why I don't work for the other
There's
company.
right,
They went
exactly.
out of
Because
business.
there's a reason why people drive from Maryland
Yeah.
to come and see you to have
Right.
you do, and
Right.
it's not because you're the cheapest guy in town.
No. I don't want to be.
So if,
I can't be
if
the
the
cheapest guy
retailers
in
out
town.
there, if all they're doing is competing with the internet, they'll be
Right.
out of business soon.
Right.
You
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
you got to give them a reason to pay more money because you got lights. You
Yeah.
have a,
Oh, yeah, we
you
have
have,
sound
you have
equipment.
everything
I'm-
else that you're paying that goes with the
Oh,
retail
no doubt.
store.
Well, if I'm going to be the
The
cheapest guy
consumer
in
don't
town,
give a shit about that. Sorry,
No cuss words. Kids are watching this show.
don't give
Well,
a.
if you're the cheapest
about
guy,
that.
if you're the cheapest guy in town, depending on the town you're in, you're not going to be able to do the level of work that the guy walking in the door is expecting.
Right.
Now, if he's expecting garbage, well, you're in luck.
Of course,
You
he's
know,
going to get it.
He's going to get it. But the problem that like we have in that we see a lot of, like when we do our 911 videos, which are where we take someone else's install and we fix it,
Right.
is they paid good money, sometimes more than what we're charging them, sometimes less, and because that we need to fix it now, and that's why they'll drive, because they know they're not going to be featured. Their car isn't going to be featured in somebody else's 911 video.
Right.
At least I
Right.
hope not.
Right.
If it is, we're really bad. Service beef prices all day long. Correct, Victor. What do you got? Talk to me. Oh, okay. Jason, experience and quality is worth. Good,
Yeah.
fast, cheap. Pick two.
Yeah.
Fair pricing, good quality. The internet doesn't
So,
stop. Yeah.
the internet, like you said, the internet is here to stay.
Right.
And like you said, you don't have a warehouse up there in New York.
Right. So my guys
So-
have to wait 3 days for my
3
stuff.
days to get
Yeah,
your stuff.
two, 3, sometimes 4. Upstate New York
Yeah,
is
yeah.
4 days.
Which is funny because I don't think Paul could do that.
No, he probably couldn't. Right.
Paul calls you 5 days a
and
week.
I've just started helping out my top guys. If they need something in 2 days, I'm paying for to do a little something. I'm trying to beg them to put a warehouse up there, but we'll see what happens. Anything's possible.
Well, yeah, anything's possible. I mean,
But
they
for
definitely
right now, these are the cards I'm dealt with. Just like any retailer, just like you are.
Yeah.
The cards you're dealt with. Here's what you got. You could either put your tail between your legs, go hang out in the corner, and next year you'll be living in a plastic cardboard box, or you could
Find a solution.
put your big boy panties on and find a solution and make it worth their while to want to buy from you. Like entertain them while you're on the phone, so they spend more money. That
Okay, it's so.
only
Yeah.
kidding there,
All right,
bro.
well, okay, these are all great points, though. Because that's why you've been doing what you've been doing. You were employee number 5, and you've been doing it for 30 years. Because you make it happen.
And I love what I do.
Correct. Now, part of the purpose of the show is to explain, when we have guests like you on, is to explain to people that there is more to the 12-volt world.
The moving boxes.
Well,
Yeah.
well, I mean, you got to move boxes.
I mean, it's a box is a box,
But
right?
a box is a box, but
Right.
there's more to it than than building a box,
Right.
putting a radio into a car.
Right, because we're in a technology industry.
Right.
You know, but consumers they're reading all these fake reviews of all these products that you don't know who's writing the reviews.
No.
And then they get it from Amazon. They have no idea what to do with it once they open up this box.
Right.
Because it's got all kinds of wires and shit coming out of it, you know.
You must be talking about the RP2.
No, whatever.
RP4.2.
So now, and then they're
Haley's
scrambling,
watching now.
and
Hey, Haley.
they're on YouTube trying to find out how to install it, and you're on there.
Say hi to Haley.
Love you, Haley. How you doing?
You missed your embarrassing story earlier. We were talking about the
Yeah,
hospital baby
yeah.
bottle thing.
But we're in a, you know, this is technology. So there's training involved.
Yes.
There's tech support involved. There are customer service involved.
Which you guys have a ton of.
Right.
I mean, you
Yeah,
guys
we
have a ton of.
and that's what retailers should do too. They have to exceed in customer service. You know, give the consumer
Slow
a
it
re-
down. Slow
Okay,
it
great.
down. Breathe.
Look at that, Johnny. I bet Arty can sell a car to a blind man.
Who said that?
Johnny.
Johnny.
Hey, Johnny, what's up, bud?
So anyways, you know, apparently you're passionate, which is funny because, I mean, that's why we're such good friends, I feel.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're both very passionate about what we do. We can leave it on the field, and we can walk away when it's time to walk away.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you know about the products. You know enough about the products to sell the products.
Enough to be dangerous.
Enough to be
barely
dangerous.
enough to be dangerous.
Barely enough to be
And
dangerous.
I got a support staff that's second to none that
Oh, yeah.
that makes me look way better than what I am.
Correct.
You know, so
So I'm just reading some of these.
Yeah.
Now, AAMP has changed a lot over the last couple of years,
oh my God, yeah.
and it has grown exponentially.
Right. And for a guy my age, you know, I got to learn all this stuff. It's not that easy, bro.
Well, that's why we talk a lot.
right. Yeah, I'm learning from you.
Let's
I'm
be honest. You come
really?
over.
Does my
Bro.
product really do that?
Yeah,
Since when?
So
Yeah.
a few kits that have really moved forward for you guys is the Ford F-150 kit.
And you know, it's not just, you know, you're talking
yeah.
about, you're changing a major portion of
Major portion of the car. So we're sitting. You called me one night, or I called you. I don't remember what happened, and I was like, "Hey, did you watch this video?" Because you were having a problem with one of your dealers.
Right. Yeah.
And you were like, "I had him watch your video," and he's like, "So I watched your video," and he's like, "Are you serious? This is what we have to do to sell this product?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Right. Yeah. Because, you know, and before we moved the office away from the warehouse.
Yes.
We used to be able to walk in the warehouse, open the boxes, look at what we're selling, touch
Right.
it, feel it. I can't do that anymore.
Which is.
I
kind of
mean,
a
I
bummer.
actually have to take a trip to the warehouse to do it.
Right.
Or else go over to Catalano's house and, you know.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's got
Well,
it
you
all
can't
over.
go into the warehouse.
Yeah, no. It's like,
because you gotta.
you
have
need
to
like
get
a
past-
retina thing.
Well, you have to
you
get
like
past
put
Nick.
up your eye there, right.
You can't get
It's
past
like
Nick.
going into the CIA.
No
you know.
going past Nick.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now.
No.
Nick will chop you off at your ankles.
Yeah.
But these products have really,
Complicated.
well, they're very complicated, which makes it harder for you to sell. But the kid is doing amazing.
Right. Yeah. No.
And as the guy said, it's like, I bet Arty could sell anything to anybody. Let's bring up that, let's talk about that for a minute, because there are widgets and doodads that you guys have that it's like, I gotta sell this? So thinking back over the course of a long time, it could be recent, what was one of the hardest products that they just kind of laid on the table? It doesn't have to be anything you guys sell anymore. It could be anything that they said, bro, guess what?
Dude.
We got these.
Dude. Okay. So in the sales meeting on Wednesday,
Yes.
Mike was like, guys, you're not going to believe this. I just bought this thing. It's like this big, and it holds 1,000 songs on it. If we could put this into a vehicle, it'll be amazing. I'm like, you're out of your mind, dude. Let's stick with the butt connectors. Let's stick with the dash kits. First of all, this little thing ain't holding no 1,000 songs.
Yeah.
And no way you're ever going to put it in a vehicle.
Okay.
Lo and behold, and the guy was a genius, you know, and he's found a way to actually integrate an iPod into the car through
When that was
using the factory radio.
and that became that was
That was
peripheral.
the first peripheral
Those
product.
were the
right,
peripheral
yeah.
products, and you guys used the changer bus. You
Right.
guys were using the Sirius XM bus.
Yeah, the
Way
changer
before
bus.
the changer, but changer
the
bus was
changer
first.
bus was first, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so we'd have to go into the changer bus, and there was communication involved in there, and I'm like, I was done. You know, I thought the line output converter was complicated. This was way more complicated. I'm like, wait a second. You're taking speaker level and you're making it RCA? No
What-
way
what-
is that ever
what do you got?
possible.
What do you got?
iPod 2,
iPod 2.
iPod to car, yeah.
Yeah, iPod the car.
Yeah.
IQ mic.
So
And it came in like a little suitcase looking thing. It was awesome. Yeah.
I was just
So I'm like, bro, you have to have this. iPod to car. You got a GM. This will go in your car. It's awesome. I'll take it.
changers. Okay, let's talk about. All right, so changers.
Right.
And then so iPod was great, but then we figured that hey, some people still want to do CDs. So
Because
Alpine.
actually, you know, crazy, but it's a little
Cra-
bit better quality.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
right,
yeah. Ooh, slow,
Yeah.
slow down, Mr. MP3. So, changers, okay. Alpine 6-disc CD changer seemed to be the changer of choice for whatever reason, that M-Bus changer. All of a sudden, you took that technology and we were putting changers in factory cars over their bus network.
Right, from just
Yeah.
a little like, well,
And-
what it was like, not a handshake, but whatever. It was.
Yeah.
They called it a handshake because you'd plug the two in together and one would talk to the other.
And it was a nightmare.
How that's possible?
Well,
yeah,
sometimes it
yeah.
wasn't possible.
Right.
It was sketchy at best sometimes. But Honda was a partner with Alpine,
Yep.
and they were selling Alpine changers and changing two wires.
So that was easy for me, you know.
So
right. So
they
the
came out with a
din to
15
din plug with two
They-
wires changed.
They
yeah.
came out. You guys
Even
sold,
I could understand.
You guys
that.
sold a what, $10 to $15 changer cable, and I know at the time we were doing 300 changers a month.
Right. Yeah. Wow. yeah.
So that had to have been great.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, you guys sold the crap
Well, then we
out of
did that for Mercedes.
Yeah.
Also, and
Yeah.
you know, right. So the first thing right there before the iPod car was putting changers.
Yeah.
In the factory radios.
So, but that had to be okay. I mean, you're still coming from a 12. Oh, here's Arty. All right, Ethan. What's up, Ethan? So you're coming from a 12 volt background, obviously.
Only ever
Only-
ever did that.
And
Yeah.
now you were selling butt connectors, you were selling dash kits, and you guys were selling Metro back then.
Right.
And
Metro's the largest distributor.
and that didn't work out.
It did.
It did, well, I'm saying it eventually went
for
away.
many years. It was a
Yes.
great relationship.
Oh yeah, trust me, I remember when it changed because I was like, "What happened?"
Yeah.
And you're like, "Bro, we got these kits, and I'm going, "What happened? Can we call them
Hey,
back?"
it's a hard switch. you
Oh,
know?
and it was a
Yeah.
hard switch, but you know, it happened, and we moved along, and it ended up working out better because you guys make a much better product.
Right, and then we
90% of the
purchased
time.
American International. Now, actually, you know, we do manufacturing here in the United States, which is
Yeah.
it's rare for a lot of companies. But we still have
Yeah.
stuff made overseas.
Oh, who
as well,
doesn't?
you know,
Everyone
right.
does. I mean, Jesus.
I mean, I'm just talking about just dash
yeah,
kits.
yeah. Well, you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how many dash kits there are.
Oh, believe me, I know.
Yeah, it's a phone book.
When I first started, and at one time I did install, believe it or not,
I
you
know. Slow down.
But once they decided that you needed a dash kit to fit it in a car,
Yeah.
I was out. I'm done.
What was it? The 45, 44, 90, 45, 44? Was that the universal, that big bag of Metro that came with 400 parts? And like you'd have 10 bags of parts hanging on the shelf and pray to God that when you...
An owner's manual like
yeah,
this.
and when you didn't have
if you got this
sealed
vehicle, you
one-
got to put this together, and yeah.
Yeah, when you didn't have
got
a
it easy
sealed one,
now,
you were
bro.
like, man, I hope I got the parts.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I need the deep radio.
No, when you steal parts out of it, and then you go back and you need those parts.
Yeah,
then
well,
you're
that
in-
was the
then
thing.
you're in
You
trouble.
hope the 10 that you had hanging on the shelf, one of them was going to have all the parts you needed.
Right,
You know, because,
yeah.
JJ would be like, you can't throw those away. There's parts in there. We can use those in other cars. And I'm like, well, look, there's 2 mounting things. And, I was like, all right, whoa, slow down. Because we used to be able to fit all our kits in just one of the little stock rooms. And I think that when I started AV, that was, I don't know what it is. Every time I start somewhere, it's like I go into the stock room and literally how they did business up until this point blows my mind because they always have the stuff sitting on the floor. They got one metal shelf in the corner, and then there's like I said, they had butt connectors and troughs.
Right. Well, you're an organized guy, you know.
Yeah. It's like when I started here, it was the same. Paul goes, "Hey, could you look at the stock room and see if there's anything we could do there?" I'm like,
one day, and I know you'd never have any time, but you should travel with me
I
to
would love
visit
to.
some like accounts in different areas,
Oh, dude,
and just see how other
I've
people
told
do
you, I'd
business.
love to do that.
That would be a great learning experience for
There's
you.
Adam.
Say hi to Ida.
Say hi to Ada.
Adam, what's up, buddy?
So now, all right. So we figured. All right. So you owned a shop. We're gonna back up here a little bit. 'Cause
Okay.
We just touched on that barely. So you left Crazy Eddie, and you decided, you know what, I can do this better myself.
Yeah, well, and in between, the reason why I left Crazy Eddie was because I met this guy named Rick who owned a place called Cartoons.
Okay.
And
A stereo shop called Cartoons?
yeah.
Oh my God, no!
And you know, and he was one of those stores, and it was big. It had 6 or 7 bays, and it was one of those stores that you showed up in the morning, and there was 12 people standing outside the door waiting for you to open up the door.
That's awesome.
Would you?
Oh, no,
What happened to those days?
Thank God they moved on. Now they make appointments. Now they make
But
appointments, they
literally
drop their cars
every
off.
single day that I showed up for work, there was a line of people at the door. And all 9 bays were filled up all day, every day.
Real quick, Jason goes, I want a dash kit vending machine. No, what I want is the future of dash kits, which we've talked about before. The future of dash kits will be 3D printers.
And Mike wants you to travel with him around Florida. That would be a treat.
It'd be an
for you.
easier trip.
Yeah.
3D printers,
3D printers.
and all we
yeah.
do is we buy the rights to print your dash kit.
But
now
how
that I've
long
said it.
I got guys that make dash kits for like vehicles that
Yeah,
up in New
cut 'em out of
Jersey,
ABS
and it
and-
takes
Oh,
forever.
I'm not saying
For
today.
like
I'm
one
saying
dash kit, I mean,
the
if
kit
they could
of the
speed up the
future will
process.
be made out of printers. We will have jetpacks and be able to fly. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Future.
Okay.
You know, when we're not doing this anymore.
Right, yeah.
You know, like Haley's kids, maybe they'll be just, if we can even put radios in cars at that point. They'll just be 3D printing the stuff out. There won't be any stuff on the shelves. And oh no, I'm with you. It takes way too long to 3D
yeah,
print.
no,
but
I
doesn't mean
know
don't
people
wanna
that do it, and they make other parts for vehicles
Oh, yeah,
too. I
yeah.
mean, you go into some of these places that do like
Yeah.
they're making like regular car parts out of 3D printers. It's awesome.
Well, you know, we won't even go down that road, but it's funny when it's like, when we make our fuse holders underneath the hood of cars, we use 1/4-inch ABS. ABS is the real ABS, not the we buy ABS brand ABS, which is the same panels you guys sell in the 12x12 and the 1/8 inch. We buy full sheets of 1/4-inch, and that's what we make our fuse holder mounts out of. They go underneath the hood of the car, and the reason why we buy ABS brand ABS is because it's high heat. And I always laugh when I get a guy that goes, that fuse holder is gonna melt, and I'm like, all right, let's the mount, and I'm like, wait a minute, all right, so the fuse holder is made out of plastic, your air intake is made out of plastic,
Right.
You know, everything out. So some headers are made out of plastic.
Right.
Yeah.
The manifold covers are made out of
But
plastic.
he knows better than you. It's
How
gonna
is
melt.
my 1/4-inch thick ABS
Right, yeah.
plastic mount gonna
It's gonna
melt?
melt.
I had to set the thing on fire to bend it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
slow it down.
But I've seen some installs melt those. Yeah.
I've seen them melt the fuse holders
Right,
because
yeah.
they use crappy wire
Right,
and they don't know how
right.
to tighten up the fuse inside the connector.
Yeah.
You know, you always have to tighten your
But
fuses.
it's always the fuse holder's fault.
No. No, it's not. No, it's I ran 2,000 watts on a CCA wire.
Right, yeah.
And the fuse holder caught on fire and turned
Yep.
into a drippy, slimy
And
mess.
that's why this. Yeah. That's why when you're going back to the internet, the whole
dash
cheaper
kits are
is
a
better.
thing of the past.
Yeah.
It's at it. You know, I would agree with you to some regards, but, and I always say this when it comes to dash kits, as long as manufacturers like you guys, like your competitors all exist, and these guys all exist, dash kits are not going anywhere. The strive to put a box in the dash in not a late model, and an older car is always going to be there.
Always going to be there. Even the
And-
newer cars. I
and
mean,
it's a-
not
oh, yeah,
every
dude.
not
Well,
every dash kit is like
back
an
to that
integrated
F-150
dash kit. you
Back
know?
to that F-150 kit. You know, we have to rebuild a ton of stuff and to get it to work, and we've done like 50 videos on it. And the funny thing is, like the Ford F-150 with the 8-inch screen with the non-amplified Sony BO system.
Right.
How many calls you get a week for a guy asking you, "Will
yeah.
that kit fit in my
Right,
car?"
Soon. Yeah.
Soon.
Yeah.
Seen the prototype, but.
And
They just
you
want to do
roll
it.
the dice.
They have
when-
an 8-inch screen and they're willing to take it out to put a 7-inch screen in because it's better,
Yeah.
which makes no sense. So Dash kits, yeah.
Yeah, just go take a look at the room back here.
Well, there again.
And do you think dash kits are a thing of the past?
No
way.
Well, the like you said, the future of AAMP Pro. Yes, the future is AAMP Pro, and we've talked about it before. When Goofball and I were in the parking lot many years ago, after we went for a walk in the mall with Junior. And I'm going, dude, these are the things we need.
Right.
And really, you think? Yeah,
right,
we need
yeah.
these. There's got to be a way to make this happen. Hey, look, if I could plug a smart harness in and put a radio in and turn the volume of that factory amplifier up and down, can I go the other way?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we started talking about putting the CD changer onto the factory radio.
Yeah.
It's integration,
It's all there. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's now evolved into the AAMP Pros of the world.
And as long as there's Toyotas out there, we'll need to put new radios in the dashes because they suck.
Yes.
Toyotas suck. And hey, don't get me wrong, I like Toyotas, but
Hey, Jeff.
hey, Jeff, just say hi to Jeff.
It's TY11.
Still isn't shipping. Have you got your T harnesses yet? That's the only thing. Have you got your Ford and Chrysler T harnesses yet, Ada? Because if you haven't,
No, he doesn't have them.
what the hell?
They're only They just came in, and
I
you're
had
the
them back
first guy on the block with everything,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Well,
I never
There's no
sleep.
product that comes in that you don't have the first guy on the block with.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
It's not
we have
because
it.
you show favoritism.
So, but wait a second. So, you're making it sound like this thing is the best thing, but we've been selling the AAMP Pro for months and months without these.
I know. but
So
this
you're
is
doing
the
it without it, though.
Yeah, but
It's
this is the
not
nice part.
totally
This
necessary.
is the missing piece, though.
Yeah.
This
It
was
makes
the-
it easier
this-
for you.
it
You
was-
are a prima donna.
No, because, okay, look, I can do it no problem.
I know
We'll
you
just
can.
run
I've
new
seen it,
speakers,
right.
we'll add in the resistors, that's fine. There's a huge group of people out there that aren't us that need to know that,
Hence, that's why we make this.
which
right.
is, I begged from day one.
Right.
And actually, when we shot the video, when we shot the video with the F-150 on the AAMP Pro, I had the owner of the vehicle run to Ernie's house because Ernie had a mock-up
of that. Yeah.
of this, so we could
Put
put
it
it
in
in his
work rate.
car, and then we couldn't talk about it.
Right. Yeah.
So that we could. But anyways, Ada, if you aren't aware, or for anybody out there that isn't aware, if you're familiar with the AAMP Pro, I'll do some pimping here. This is the new T harness. So if you're not going to be running new speaker wires, or if you don't want to cut into the harness to add the resistors, the resistors for the Ford, so that you can keep the cool factory chime and it doesn't default to the piezo sensor.
Yep.
We have the Chrysler one,
Yep.
and we have the Ford one.
Just
are
two right now.
shipping now. And it was funny because I was telling you earlier, we were literally talking about these on the Friday show.
Is that what these things look like?
That's what those things look like.
Holy cow! This is
Yeah.
pretty cool. Huh?
The first
Do
time
we
you
sell
see
these?
this.
And they come in a box!
This is a lot of wire too. Where do these things go?
Well, the amp, it depends. The amp could be anywhere in
They're
the car.
$24.95. Don't worry about where they go, pal. Just buy it.
Exactly.
Right?
So, anyways, this is the piece of that puzzle that I've been
How
waiting
much
for.
time does it shave off the install?
Well, okay, so it depends. So, like, if we were doing let's say we're doing a system where we didn't have, like, we're doing a smaller 4-channel amp. So think of that as your SX series amplifier, the cheaper ones.
Yep.
If we're doing an SX series amplifier, we really don't need to rewire the car, okay? It's below the minimum, what we call our minimum power requirements.
Got it.
So, it's a brand new $50,000 F-150 or F-250. I don't want to just start hacking up the guy's plugs. It's against my better judgment, okay? So what we would do is we would run new wires. All right, so now I have to run all new wires throughout the car.
So
that
that's
adds
time right there. Right.
Or I could have just into the amplifier.
Yeah.
Right.
What's
Okay,
the model
so
number?
It's a APHFD01.
Right.
And
Or
what's the-
APHCH01. Right.
So this saves time, and that's key. I mean, at the end of the day, because these installs aren't going any faster.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
we were laughing at it today.
And do they pay you to
Go faster?
No. Yeah.
No.
Right.
But I mean,
Time is money.
Here's the thing. Everyone laughs. It's like, remember deck and four. Okay, remember the term deck and four. I hate the term deck and four because deck and four is not a deck and four. A deck and four is now I get a radio, I have a USB, I have a GPS antenna. I may or may not have to retain the aux jack. It could have a factory backup camera that I have to retain. Then I have this giant harness.
So it's not just putting in the radio, replacing all the
Then I have
four
this-
speakers that are in the vehicle.
This
and
giant
that's it.
smart harness, depending on the manufacturer, I may have to plug it into the computer, or I may have to just, both of them I'm rebuilding the harness, because I want it to be for that car.
Right.
So, and then we have speakers. And one of the things I've been pushing your company to get into is the speaker mounts, which you guys have
Which
just
we did,
you,
right?
You got, they're listening, so more and more speaker mounts are coming out, which is great. So, it's now thankfully, like a Ford, when the Ford first came out, nobody had speaker mounts for that. So we're over there routing out speaker mounts to put 6x9s back in the door.
And people are going to do that anyway because they don't want to spend the $5 or $6. So
Well, no, they're just
Believe it
going
or
to
not.
hack the factory speaker off, cut the magnet off, and screw it in and be done with it. I mean, that's what you do, right?
that's what hackers do.
Yeah. So, a deck and 4 now is turned into this.
It's called Deck and More now.
Yeah, well, it's
Deck
called
and
this
More.
amazing. It's this amazing amount of work, and then you're like, okay, do you want it to sound good when we're done? Okay, well, you might want us to roadkill those tin doors that you have, those aluminum foil doors, which you guys have. Roadkill is your product, and we use it, and we like it.
A ton of it.
And I know, right? Which isn't cheap.
And you just finished a job with it too, and it made the vehicle sound so much
Oh,
better.
it was insane.
Yeah.
Because we were listening to it this morning when we first got it, and we're like,
I
Fernando,
think when I pull it
thought it was
in,
all
I was
broken.
thinking that was like factory speakers, blown speakers. Sounds terrible.
yeah, and I'm like, well, let's do a polarity check before we even start. Anyways, that gets crazy.
yeah.
But so
So a little thing just by putting sound deadening material changes the sound of the vehicle.
so now let's bring this back to you.
All
right, so-
is that what we're here for?
I know, right? So here we go. So I just want to put a radio and 4 speakers in a car. All right. So from you, I have to buy an antenna adapter because most cars nowadays need an antenna adapter. I have to buy a Radio Pro. If they want it to sound better, I have to buy a Roadkill, Fast Rings,
Yep.
which you guys have a partnership
Sells,
with and
yep.
sell Fast Rings.
Right.
And then I have to buy a Best Kits Dash Kit.
Right, and that's before you even talk about what radio you're putting in the vehicle.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
so the accessories that have to go in, that's a must. I mean,
Right.
it's not like, hey, here's your option 1, option 2,
No,
without the
no.
accessories. It's a must.
No,
Right.
so I'm at.
So, guy that calls you for the $159 radio.
Well, yeah. Well, it's funny because
So
last week or the week before last, the install diaries, we were putting in a Pioneer 150 MP, which is their $69 radio, and a Volkswagen Jetta.
$69 radio.
And a
A
Volkswagen.
manufacturer still has that.
But in a Volkswagen Jetta.
Nice.
So we needed a C2R,
C2R. Yeah.
and we needed a dash kit, and we
Yep.
needed the diversified antenna adapter.
Mm-hmm.
You know how much that costs?
Right. Yeah. So
Compared
you're
to the
$200 and something dollars
Yeah.
in accessories
Yeah.
right away. Just what you said.
Now, there is no
no
margin
margin
in
radius.
radios. We are getting the margins out of the pack. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Fast rings. So
Yeah. accessories is where it's at.
accessories is
Right,
definitely
yeah,
where it's
yeah.
at, and it's
And it always has been. I mean,
Right.
because we started talking about the internet and the pricing and that kind
Well-
of stuff, right? So people look at the Pioneer radio and the model number 8900, and they get a price on it, and there's no
There's no,
variations.
yeah.
There's just
Right.
one of those,
Yeah.
well, okay. So,
But when you're talking about putting it in a vehicle, then you're talking about
Yeah.
talking about quality of wire, what interface you're going to use.
all right, so interfaces. All right, so you're the sales guy. Okay, which is no small thing, even though it sounded small.
I don't like to consider. I like to consider myself just fun on the phone.
Fun on the phone, bro. What are you talking about? So let's talk about AMP Pros for a minute. That's a new category. It's a big new category. That category
I
is
can't
exploding.
believe how big it is now.
And
it's less than a year.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's huge. How do you sell that to a guy? How do you make a guy? Because I've read. All right, so here's what drives me crazy, and you can comment on this. I'll read the forums or whatever the industry side of this is, and there'll be a guy like, "Hey, I have this Sony system. I'm getting ready to put XYZ processor in it. What do I need to sum together to get this to work?" And it's like, I'm reading it because I want to see how long it takes for somebody to say, "No, man, you need a Radio Pro FD
AMP Pro. Or
AMP Pro." Yeah, sorry.
so.
Want to know what the Alpine guy said? Oh, it's an Alpine Halo 9.
Yeah.
Call it Alpine. It's got to be Alpine. Okay, my bad. Hello from Virginia. Anyways, so how do you go about selling that to your guys? I mean, how did you do that? I mean, our video helped. I get it.
Right.
'Cause
Yeah.
you're the first guy to share
and
our
it's
stuff.
and it's CAN bus. So you know, what is your alternative? What do you have to do to put an amplifier in a CAN bus vehicle without any interface?
Well, the day before yours came out, we did this thing called summing. But now what I'm saying is
But you're talking hours of labor just trying to get that done.
But
Right.
Yeah.
how do you educate your customer to buy something like an Amp Pro?
Hey, it's because, you know, and it's easy. It's plug and play. You take the radio out, you got, and right, I know it's not, you know.
No, I'm listening. Because
Right.
I'm almost buying it, man.
Right. Hey,
Tell
you
me
know,
more.
And it's got 3 inputs, so you could use 1, you could use 2, you could use all 3. You got subwoofer, you got front and rear channel, everything that you need to make that car sound better without hacking on the dashboard, without replacing anything, adding speakers, adding amplifiers, without changing any of the cosmetics of the dashboard.
Yeah.
Right. Well, like Ada said, they like the look of the factory system today.
Yeah, like women.
Except for
yeah.
the F-150. We're always
Yeah.
taking those out and putting no dash kits in because your dash kit looks factory. But
Summon doesn't fix the factory variable EQ.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
and
Toyota.
that's true too.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
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 Toyota.
So,
Oh,
true.
God.
So,
if
you know,
I have to read one more
there's
thing
a lot
about
of
it, all
benefits
pass,
to it, but
all pass filter.
you know, and it's the ease of the whole
Soundman
thing.
boom. Toyota, and it's all pass filter.
Oh yeah.
That keeps me up at night. But there again, that was a new category that a lot of guys couldn't wrap their head around.
Right, and it's
no one
it's
believed it, because
It's a
everyone thinks
numbers
it's high
game
at
at
the level.
first. You tell everybody about it, you know.
Right.
And we always have this joke that we're talking about. All the salesmen get together and like the Amp Pro.
Okay.
Right. What percentage of our customers even know that Amp Pro exists? What do you think? Take a guess. Take a guess. I mean, our customers. I mean,
I'm gonna go 40%.
All right, probably 20.
I was.
Yeah,
That was my
yeah,
first
yeah,
guess. I
probably
wanted to be
20.
nice.
So we're selling all those, and we haven't even scratched the surface of who really even knows about this.
Right.
It's unbelievable. And that's half of us, because I'm usually cracking jokes on the phone and not talking about new product.
No,
So,
why
know,
would you?
I'm
Well,
like-
you're serious. Let's be
So,
honest.
but yeah, so you try to tell everybody you can in a day's worth of work on the phone, and you're only gonna get 5 people to listen to you, and 2 of those 5 people are actually gonna buy it.
I like Chris. Toyota will keep you in business for years to come.
Yeah, that's true.
But so you tell everybody about it. You give them the benefits, you know. Then you follow it up maybe with a little.
correct.
That's good, Chris.
Craig, what's Amp Pro?
That's right.
Love, see that? Love that. Love
Okay,
that.
so Chris say, Arty, do you use Dean's videos when you're trying to sell some
all
of
the
your
time,
customers?
all the time. Yeah, absolutely.
And that was the okay. So, which is
Thank you, Victor.
You know, when we started doing unboxings, it was great. But when Fernando made me start going into the install bay, and you were like started watching them, and you were calling me
Well, that
up.
was the whole thing.
Yeah.
I didn't watch him for the longest time, and I couldn't understand. And then I watched one, and I'm like, oh my god. Then I get a phone call like 2 days later with the question about it. I'm like, dude, you have to watch this video. It's going to answer every question that you have on it. And it made me look like the champ.
Yeah,
And
because
you are the champ.
Yeah, right,
You
you
are
know,
the champ.
I'm just a middleman, you know. So it made me look like I knew what I was doing. So it was great.
Well, if I
Yeah,
can make
no.
your life just a tad bit easier.
And now, you know, I don't even care. I'm like, hey, I don't want to hear about your problem. What you need to know. You got YouTube, 5-star. Find it there. It's in there somewhere.
and
There's
that's those guys.
And that's right. I'm not going to send you a link because it's going to take me longer than I have to find the link. You find it. Chances are your question will be answered, and you know, and you're just doing. It's a great service.
All right, that's not turning into
the
me.
industry,
Let's
and
not turn into me.
you know,
Let's
you
not
got to
go
know that.
towards me.
You got absolutely.
All right, so John dropped off some products
Yep.
for us, which we'll have on show in a future date. We were talking about internet,
Right.
and one of the things about that's their 9000
That's the
series.
night we have. Those.
If you
Yeah.
guys want the most expensive RCAs, best sounding on the planet,
Oh, never mind.
check out the 9000.
9000s.
They cost as much as a radio.
Yeah.
But if that's what you want,
It depends
Go.
on what you're looking for as far as
Yeah,
you
yeah.
sound. You know,
Lifetime
Now-
warranty.
if you want crap, there's plenty of places that you can go to find crap at.
Yep.
yes, there is.
They make it in 20 feet, 17 feet, 12 feet, 6 feet, 3 feet, 1.5, and
Y
females.
adapters,
Yeah,
yep.
and Y adapters.
Now, one of the
And
products
that packaging is awesome.
Yeah, dude.
God,
it's pack. I mean, come on. It's a
The RCA.
$250 set of cables. It better come in nice packaging.
Yeah.
One of the things that is always driving the independent retailer crazy is, of course, the internet, and that's fine. I mean, we've all learned at this point how to coexist with it, and it's great. But this product here is the new Stinger X, okay, or 10, depending if you're an Apple fan.
Right.
Oh, there you go.
And what it's designed to do is it's going to be a dealer-specific product. So we have an
AAMP Pro is
dealer-specific product.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, because I can't. So we're going to have 3 types of cables here. We're going to have a 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to have a Toshlink, which is this guy right here.
Yeah, and it's the first time we're actually selling Toslink cable.
Which is great because the AMP Pro will do Toshlink.
Mm-hmm.
So now we'll
save you a little bit of time there too.
Yeah, so now you'll be able to go right out of the AMP Pro with the Toshlink
Toshlink,
adapter
yeah.
using your Stinger Toshlink cable. So we have these 3 new cables that are coming out. They're not shipping yet.
Soon.
These are samples.
Well, I would say they're pretty done samples.
Yeah, these are really nice samples.
On the water.
I like that one.
So
That one
we
is
have what do we have? We have the 1, the 2.
So right now we have a 1000 series,
Yeah.
4000, 6000, 8000, and then the 9000.
nice. Yeah.
So
this-
these are
this
not
is-
meant to replace those at
No.
all,
No,
but they are map protected.
Toshlink. Map protected just means it's retail, minimum advertised price.
Right.
Show
So
them this one.
so you can't.
I like these. These
Yeah,
are
I
sharp.
like
Look at
those,
those. Those are
yeah.
heavy. Look at those. These are the new X coming out. So we have these. So these will be coming soon to a store near you.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the other things that you guys finally made, which
Oh, it's amazing. You just have to go there, and all the product is just right there.
we ordered.
Great.
Oh, yeah.
We ordered.
I
So,
know.
hold that. That one's heavy.
Yep.
So you guys finally make kits with marine. So you have an equal length power and ground. They come with fuse holders. They come with ferrules.
That's amazing.
How did we get those? Where did they come from? I don't understand.
I know, right?
Did they buy them from you?
No. They didn't. Really, they didn't.
I thought they were buying them from you.
Serial numbers that can be tracked on those. Thank you, Mike. So we have these new guys here. So if you guys are doing marine or you have a project that you're going to be doing in a boat this summer, because the hot weather is coming.
Like you're going to be doing in someone's boat this summer?
Not me.
sometime.
Not me. We don't have any room for them. We have an outside guy that does all that.
Yeah.
And we have a friend that could come to the dock and help his brother out. Maybe.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We got an outside guy. That's all he does. He does all the boat work for us, so it's really cool.
All right. So we have the 8 gauge.
We have an 8-gauge kit. We have a 4-gauge kit.
Yep, 2.
And so they're equal length. And they're, I mean, let's be honest. These
Marine
are
grade. Yeah.
really nice
Awesome.
kits.
Power and ground.
Yeah, and they're connected.
That's
so
amazing.
it's like a giant speaker wire.
Right. Yeah.
So what that also means is for you SPL guys out there that are looking for like an 8-gauge joined cable or a 4-gauge joined cable, you now have the marine kits that can be awesome, amazing giant speaker wire.
Yep.
And this 8-gauge, dude, this looks like a 4-gauge.
This
I gotta
looks
be
like a
honest with
4
you.
gauge. Yeah.
That is huge.
That's amazing. Yeah. This is look like a 4 yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
But that one is nice.
So, and because everybody was so thrilled and they love it, we are bringing it in spools.
I'm sorry.
Oh, thank
that no, that's 4 gauge.
No, this is 8.
Yeah,
No,
this.
Oh, this is 4.
No, that's 4 gauge and this is 4 gauge.
Oh.
The difference.
Oh,
is,
size. That's the size.
yeah.
Oh, my bad. I thought.
It's
I-
Yeah,
23.
you look like 4 gauge. You're a pretty smart guy. That's because it was 4 gauge.
I'm like, wait. Yeah,
Right.
they
All
are
right.
4 gauge.
So
Yeah,
they have
this
different
is 3
feet.
meters.
This is 3 meters.
And that's 7 meters.
7 meters.
Yeah.
So 23 feet and 9.8 feet.
There you go.
So awesome. Now another category that you guys are going to get in, which I'm not going to be able to magically walk behind the counter because we don't do anything with that.
Yeah.
Motorcycles.
Motorcycle.
And the other thing too.
And razors.
Oh yeah, the new
We have
razor
that
kits.
the Razor amp kit that fits the 2
Yeah.
amplifiers.
Yeah.
In the ferry
Because
and the
Stinger
razor.
makes amplifiers.
We do.
So you guys have 2
Well,
amplifiers.
Stinger, right? Yep.
They're under okay. Phoenix Gold.
Power Sports.
Yeah, but under the Stinger Power Sports. So Stinger is now getting into the power sport game. My thought is the reasoning behind it. You don't have to comment. Is
Yep.
that Phoenix Gold obviously can't be sold to everybody.
Right.
Okay, it's protected
No comment.
line.
I
And
plead the 5th.
so Stinger is a brand that you guys sell to everyone that wants to meet the criteria. So they brought out last year. They brought out the Stinger amplifier. They had the Bluetooth chip built into it.
Yeah.
Did a great
And it was
video.
expensive. I mean, it was a good
It sounded
amplifier.
amazing.
But yeah,
Did a great video on it.
But
putting
putting
it in
that
a boat.
Bluetooth chip
Yeah,
in
it was
there
very
made it.
expensive.
Yeah.
So now we have 2 Stinger amplifiers. We have a small, what's the size?
300,
300 by 2?
352, and 704.
Okay.
Nice.
And then we also came out with speakers.
RGB and regular.
Okay. So that means they have,
6.5 inch.
yeah. So you guys are really stepping up your game here.
And you could still get Bluetooth into the amplifier by
through the
using
music stream. Yeah,
Right.
we did a video on that. Of course.
Of course you did.
Of course we did a video on
Of course
that.
you did.
Yeah. The only
Also
thing-
for the Marines, the spools are coming out in June, right? Nice.
No, June.
If you
yes.
want more,
Well, yeah, it's John telling
that's
us
nice.
it's coming out
Yeah.
in June.
Right,
So, did they make an AMP Pro for 2017 Nissan? No AMP Pros for Nissans yet.
Not yet.
not yet.
Okay. Check your Nissan because it might be a variable voltage. Some Nissans are variable voltage, some Nissans are fixed. So, and by variable voltage, go back and check. We had a 911 and a Titan. Was it a Titan? Yeah, 911 and a Titan
Yep.
last year, I think we did.
Yep.
And we talk about what variable voltage is. So you can check that out, and that'll allow you to meter to see if it is or not.
Correct.
But nothing on Nissan yet. All right, this has been fun.
Yes.
I told you it'd go by quick, and you'd be like, "What the heck, man?"
And it's like throwing me into the fire here. You're going
There was
on
no-
live TV. Ah!
There was no
No,
fire.
no.
No fire. Relax.
Yeah, I'm a
pretty
very
good.
shy person. It takes
You're
me a
not a
while
shy
to warm
person.
up to,
You're not a
You know,
shy
when you
person.
got the camera looking right at you.
It sounds like you did this before.
No, no. Ask my wife. She doesn't post any pictures or videos of me on the internet. This is a great treat for you. No, it's been great, guys.
Susan is watching.
Yeah.
All right, Susan. Hey,
Yep.
what's up, honey? Be home soon. All right, guys. Thank
See
you
you,
so
Jason.
much. This is gonna be the end of it. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always,
Great seeing you guys, man.
have a good night, Jason. If you guys want shirts, Teespring/store/5star. We do a Patreon if you guys want to support that. If you need tools or supplies, you can go to dnftooldrawer.com.
Yep.
There you can find anything. If you want to go on Amazon and buy anything for your wife or whatever, go to DNF Tool Drawer first. Click on it and then buy or something because we'll get credit for it. It's how it works. It's
pretty
pretty
much.
awesome. Also, the giveaway for the 50,000 subscribers ended today. So we're going to be going through and notifying anyone who won. There's going to be 7 winners.
So what else did you give away?
We gave away obviously the 5 tone generators. Thank you.
You're
And we're giving away a Pioneer radio.
Yep.
And we're giving away a
Scope.
Scope. We have a digital
Wow,
multimeter
awesome.
scope
Great.
that we did a video on, and we're like, I'll never use this. Let's
Well,
just give it away.
Congratulations
So
to
there's
everybody that
gonna
won.
be 7 winners. You'll get a notification from me here shortly. We're waiting for some other tchotchkes to come in so
Yes.
that we can. But we're gonna pick the 5 winners
Figure
here
it
this
out.
week, and you'll hear from us.
Yep.
I'm sorry, 7 winners.
Guys, thanks for having me on.
Thanks
Oh,
for
no,
coming.
Thank you, Arty. I appreciate it.
You guys have a great night as always. We'll
See
see
you
you later
later.
next time.
Bye.